You're watching the Go Crying to Walk In podcast. I'm Chef Cholo, and you already know. As usual, today we are powered by Hospitality News Magazine and Hospitality News Magazine Online. And remember, if you like anything you see here, hit the like button and subscribe. It could always help your boy. Today's guest is Long Island's own celebrity pastry chef, my man Brian Fishman from Sweet Karma Bakery. What do you say, brother? How we doing? All right?
Good to see you, my man. Good to see you.
Sweet Karma. I love that name. I always love that name, man. You're always a peace guy. Is that your thing?
A little bit.
Yeah. I see you got your tie-dye on. You're doing your thing, right?
Always got to represent.
Now, how old of a guy are you?
53.
53. Like, we're the same age, right?
Yep.
You graduated CIA when?
In 91.
91, right?
Yeah. Some of these kids now weren't even born then.
Yeah, 88 for me. 88 for me. You graduated high school when?
87.
Right. So yeah, you were right out of high school. You went right
Yep.
in there. Now, did you hear Chef Corky Clark passed away this week?
No, I did not know that.
R.I.P. Corky Clark.
Oh my God, miss him.
You had him?
I had him. I had him.
American
for Fish
Regional.
Kitchen.
Oh, you had
I had him
Fish.
Fish.
So for us, it was American Regional, and this was a guy. First of all, I didn't even want to hear the word American Regional.
No.
It was American cooking. So the course description was no good right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
Boy, here's my one Corky Clark story. I come back from, we had to eat. And there was a very fast-paced class. There was a lot of critique after service. So you had to go in, get your food, and get right back into the kitchen to clean up so you can get back in there and get critiqued on how horrible you did everything all day.
Oh yeah.
So I rush back in there, and I leave my hat on the table where we were eating, my chef toque,
Oh
right?
no.
And I had like a mohawk carved into my head, which he didn't want anybody to stand out. He didn't want, if you thought you were going to stand out around there, he was going to make sure you were in trouble. So I'm sweeping, and he's on my back. He's like, boy, he's like, you ain't got the respect to wear a hat in my kitchen. Pack your tools and go. And I was like, fuck, I'm not leaving. You know what I mean? And 4 guys before me had already been thrown out, sent back to their room. I'm like, I'm not going. So I just kept sweeping. Now I feel him. He's breathing on my back.
Oh yeah.
He's like, boy, I gave you a direct order. I turned around and said, you do whatever you want to me while we're in here. I go, I'm not going home. He walked away. He left me alone. I'm sure he respected me for it, in the end. But, it's sad that he's gone, and he was a legend up there. He wasn't teaching, at the end here, but
He was a judge. Didn't he become a judge? Or
what
something
kind
like
of
that?
judge?
I think he was a circuit judge where he was living.
Wow. He was living like that. I know he's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was a lawyer before he came, and then he became a judge while he was teaching.
Wow.
I'm not exactly sure, but this is what I've heard.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Listen, I can butcher fish now because of him.
That's right. So when you went to cooking school thinking you were going to be a chef, or you always knew you were going to be a pastry guy?
I never knew that I was going to be in the food industry whatsoever, but every job I ever had to do with food. It was like high school, it was like a busboy, dishwasher,
You went to
prep
BOCES?
cook. No,
No.
I didn't even know about it until
Where'd you go to high school? America?
yeah, Belmore Kennedy.
Oh yeah, Belmore Kennedy.
yeah.
Not Nepham, where
No.
the football players hurt themselves.
No,
Not
that was a big rivalry. Yeah,
That was your rivalry, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know people from Belmore, so for sure. That's where I get all my tattoos in Belmore. Yeah.
Where you go?
Lone Wolf Tattoo. Shout out to Ronnie Bianco.
Very cool.
I know you put a lot of tattoos on you, right? You're
Yeah.
into that, right?
Yeah. Go my.
Where do you do that? Where do you
Right.
put them on?
Where did I go? I don't know what it's called now. I haven't gone there in a long time. It used to be called Asylum.
Asylum.
Yeah,
All
it was on. I think Hempstead.
A lot of
Sunrise Highway.
A lot of
Eddie's.
tattoo parlors. Now, when I was a kid getting
Yeah.
out of high school, two tattoo
That's it.
parlors on Long Island. You
And
sat
5
down-
bakeries.
Yeah, 5 bakeries. Oh, Stanley's and Islip.
Oh man, where did I grow up? Grew up in Merrick, and it was like butternut. It was like the old school Jewish bakery,
Yeah.
Babka was the thing.
Oh,
Now
brother. I like
cookies.
French toast with babka. Now cookies, right?
Now cookies.
Got to have something inside the cookie. Cookie in the cookie. Not just a regular cookie. Not just a regular
Yes,
cookie.
yes. Cookie world is exploding all over the place.
So talk to us about being on television. I see you on, how many times you were on a cooking channel?
Well, I've been on Food Network twice for 2 shows, and then recently didn't even know I was going to be on another show. Didn't have to audition. Didn't have to do anything but sign releases. And
Was this the dog thing?
No. Oh, that's another thing.
All right, well, go. I'm
Me,
sorry.
I'm not in that.
I'm
But
sorry.
my cakes, it's like one of our clients actually. She works for Good Morning America.
Yeah, yeah.
So she loves us. We actually just did a cake for her. She does cakes for her dog's birthday.
Doggy cakes, but
Oh yeah.
like a dog food cake.
No, just
Doggy's regular
she
cake.
has a birthday party for the dog. It's not any kind of stuff the dog's gonna eat.
It's like the Little Rascals. Remember? Your
Oh, my
dog
God.
likes chewing gum, huh?
May have choked Artie, but it ain't gonna choke Stymie. See, now we're dating ourselves because, like, you say
Yeah.
Little Rascals to kids now. They're
No,
like,
they don't know about
what are you
that.
talking
Black
about?
and white television. Black and white television.
Oh yeah.
They can find it on the internet if they look hard.
True.
enough, though.
True, they can if it's not hidden now.
So-
It's not PC.
So these competition shows, I gotta ask, Brian, are they what we see or no? There's a lot that goes behind. I mean, be honest.
I could be honest to a point. I've had to sign,
Oh,
yeah. You're not.
not
supposed
many
to-
people are watching the Chef Cholo
Yeah,
yet,
yeah.
so we could talk if you want.
So, it's everything is.
We'd
scripted.
like more people to watch.
Yes, absolutely.
Like
This
and
guy's entertaining.
Abe, how's this?
I wouldn't
Like
hear.
and subscribe. I'm gonna hammer it out tonight, Eddie. I'm just gonna hammer it out all show.
I went to my first show. I went to Halloween Baking Championship, and they filmed in New Orleans. And I was just like, whatever. I'm here. I'm gonna be on TV. Whatever they ask me to do, within reason, I'll do.
And how long of a process? How long are you in New Orleans for?
I was in there for like almost 4 days, 5 days.
5 days.
But like you asked, how real and everything. You check into the hotel, and usually
I've heard things.
Well, you go on vacation and you check into a hotel, and the girl behind the counter tells you, "Oh, Mr. Palmer, thank you for joining us. We see you're going to be with us for 4 nights and 5 days. Welcome. We hope you enjoy your stay." Well, they're not supposed to say that to TV show competitors.
Because you might not be there for 4 days.
You don't know. So we were told that we could be there for up to 9 days. So the guy before me walks up to the desk. She says, "You'll be with us for 6 nights." And I look at him, I go, "Guess you're not winning."
Wow.
And then I go up, and they tell me,
4
"You'll
nights.
be here 4 nights." I said, "I guess I'm going home before you."
Wow.
I call up my wife, and she's like, "You know what? Why don't you just get in a cab, go back to the airport, come home? It's not real." I said, "You know what? Let me see how this plays out.
Let's do it.
Let me see how this plays out." I joked around. I'm like, you know what? I'll get kicked off first. I'll laugh about it. I went to New Orleans for the first time.
Can't
Loved
beat
it.
that.
Ate Southern food at Mother's.
Beignets.
Oh my God. Beignets was the last day before I left. Yeah, we had to go. We had to go to the Cafe Du Monde.
Yeah. Crawfish bread.
Oh, I seen people stick figures. Some of these girls that were on the show packing away the crawfish. I was just like,
Crazy.
"Where are you putting that?"
So what's it like? Is it like high pressure really, or is it all just filmed like that?
A lot of high pressure, but then a lot of downtime. Because you know what it is? They got to film stuff. Then they got to film it again. Then they got to get a different angle. And when they come in and they judge you, most of the time, they're judging everybody individually. So it's like
Right.
a whole day of just like,
Looking at it.
all right, let's go. Next.
Now, we first met when you were working at Panama Hatties, right?
Oh, lifetime ago.
Lifetime
Yes,
ago.
lifetime
That's
ago.
still 80s, I guess. Well, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was early 90s.
Early 90s, because, yeah, you were in college in 87.
Yeah,
so.
I was the first pastry chef of Panama Hatties.
And Blake was a chef, or
Yes.
Matt was a chef?
Blake was
They
the
were
exec-
both there.
Yeah, Blake was the executive chef. Matt was the sous chef.
Right.
And it's funny, I knew Matt before I even went there. We have like camp history as
Get
kids.
out of here.
Yeah, 2 good Jewish boys from Long Island. We went to the same camp. He knew my sister,
Wow.
and his brother was also friendly with my sister.
Gary Hissinger's his
Yeah.
brother. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a real estate lawyer.
Matt Hissiger.
No, Matt's the chef,
Yeah. Well, Matt was the guy I worked
and
with.
Gary's his brother.
Yes.
Yeah,
And he's
a lawyer.
Yeah, lawyer.
He handled one of our closings. He was a big lawyer for the company that I worked for. So a great guy, Gary.
Yeah, and
Great
Matt
guy.
salt of the earth. It's like he's one of the hardest working guys I know.
Yeah.
He's still in the kitchen, pumping and grinding.
Still cook? Where's he cooking?
He's got LB Social in Long Beach.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
his spot.
Yeah, it's great food.
Wow, that's a great hell. I hear a lot of great things about that.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't know
moved
that
into
was
my
him.
neighborhood too. So
And he lives by you.
yeah, right. He lives in East
Wow.
Rockaway.
So you get to hang out over there in Long Beach. You like it over there?
We don't get there as much as we'd like.
Right.
Yeah, we would like to go more. It's a lot of fun. My wife and I actually had our first date there, so we spent hours and hours there.
Hey, it's your boy Chef Cholo from the Go Crying to Walk In podcast. And if you're like me, you yearn for that old school relationship between purveyors and chefs. Nowadays, they got me going on a website, looking up my own orders, placing my own orders. I don't even know if the thing's going to get delivered the next day. I got nobody to talk to. If you're looking for that old school service with aggressive pricing, look no further than American Food Connection. What you do is you call the number at the bottom of the screen, you ask for Danny, and you get it straight. You already know. So after Panama Hatties, how did things go for you after that? Like you didn't go right into your own bakery at that point.
No, I was there for a while, and then I actually left and I moved to Maryland. And I worked in Gaithersburg. I worked for Jeffrey Boobin.
Yeah, I didn't know you moved out of town for a while.
I
Oh, really?
I lived there for about a year and a half. I went to go work at Vidalia
Uh-huh.
as the pastry chef, and that didn't work out. So I ended up working at Occidental Grill, which was a restaurant that's been there forever.
So always with the pastry. You never, once you went and made the tradition, you never really went back to regular cooking.
Out of school, I didn't even know I wanted to do pastry. I actually did horrible in the baking and pastry part of the program in school.
It was a small part of what they gave us.
We did 3 weeks of baking, 3 weeks of pastry. We poached fruit. I made applesauce 3 times. Got out of school, and I was working, as a line cook.
These hands were no good with the pastry.
But I wasn't either. But you know what? Listen, you can do it, okay? You just have to put your mind to it.
Yeah.
You got to decide that that's something that you want to have that skill. And I felt that if I was going to be the best chef I could possibly be, I had to have that skill under my belt. I worked with Alpha Portal. Right when I came out of school, I went to go work at Gotham. Worked there for a good period of time. I was a line cook, didn't do pastry, loved it. Unfortunately, it was short-lived because I was so green. I was a hindrance, not a help in the kitchen, really. But I learned a lot. He's like, by the way, I got a friend who's opening up a spot in Great Neck. He could really use you. And he goes, it's on Long Island. You don't have to travel.
Alfred said that.
Yep.
Wow.
Brendan Walsh.
Oh,
so he hooks me up with Brendan. I go get a job with Brendan.
Not Coyote Grill.
No, this was North Street.
Before Coyote, or after Coyote Grill?
He opened up North Street Grill.
Okay.
So I went to work there, and then I ended up hanging out in the pastry kitchen. I don't remember the pastry chef's name. Unfortunately, I think he had passed recently too. So I worked with him for a while, and I started the whole bagel program. We started doing fresh baked bagels on Sunday mornings.
Really?
So it was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. And then I moved to D.C., and I ended up getting more and more into pastry. Then that's, before I went to Panama Hatties, when I came back from D.C., I went to go work at Lundy's in Brooklyn.
Lundy's, the Lundy's.
Yes. As the pastry chef.
As pastry chef.
Animal.
And what they make at Lundy's? Like it was like regular cheesecakes and stuff?
Bro, thousands of biscuits a day.
Biscuits.
Thousands. I was bringing in pallets of white lily flour.
Real buttermilk biscuit.
Oh, yeah. And pies.
I like
12-inch pies.
Biscuit.
They had special pans made.
What do you mean?
Because
it was so big.
Yeah, it was a 12-inch pan. It was like a concave, and they actually sold the pies in those pans.
Wow.
So if you wanted to buy a pie,
you could
buy a pie.
It was like the meatballs over there at Maroney's place.
Exactly. And it was huge, and they had the name stamped on it.
Don't try and cook in that pot.
No.
That pot's not for cooking.
No?
No.
That's for show only, huh?
I had some friends who make that mistake.
It went up on fire.
Yeah, it's like it crumbled. Crumbled under the pressure. So, what gave you the inspiration to want to do your own bakery?
I actually had taken time off from the industry because I had hurt my back. So I was working in an office for a while, and I just was hating it.
Couldn't do it.
No.
It was making skin crawl.
Yeah, exactly.
I know
phone ringing.
I know
it's
the
not
feeling.
For me.
It happened to me once. I tried to do something different after the Vanderbilt closed, and then I would be watching some of those cooking shows, and I'd start crying.
Yeah, exactly.
It would get to me.
I was working on the bakery behind the scenes. I was actually working for my father at the time.
Building it.
Yeah, and I had one of my best friends from high school. We really were like cultivating this, and it was just one of these things that started to steamroll, and the ideas came. And I spoke to my wife. I said, listen, I want to take a little bit of money. He spoke to his wife. We said, you know what? Let's do this. Let's try it out. Let's do it small. We all got jobs right now. We're not going to rely on this for money. And just things happen that kind of like set it more into motion faster than it should have. but we took over a spot in East Meadow. We knew it was small to begin
That was
with.
your first store.
Yeah.
I remember that store over by the park over
Yep,
there.
and it was tiny. But you know what? It was mine.
You cranked it out,
Yeah,
though.
and we made some really nice stuff. We made a good name for ourselves. I made a good name for myself, but I didn't do it alone. You know, it's like my wife was there, my son was little, and like we had him in the bakery. We had really good friends that were like a help. They did deliveries, they did dishes, whatever they could do to help
Right.
us build the business. And then we were there for 10 years, and it was actually great.
The first store you were in there 10 years. So you've been over in the other. You've been in Plainview
10
for
years.
how long?
10
Oh,
years.
10
We're going on
years.
11 now.
11 now. 21 years in business.
Hmm.
Wow, that's really awesome.
I had to
right?
do that to keep a job.
A lot of guys, not many people tell us. So I mean, look at your talent. I got one of the,
Thank
one
you.
of your showcakes right here, and then we have the incredible Karma cups.
Karma cups.
So Dominic Ansel, that's how you pronounce his name.
Yes.
He's got the chocolate chip cookie cup, but my brother has the Karma cups,
Yeah.
made famous. Abe, do I got that in there? Karma cups, incredible.
Often imitated, never
And
duplicated.
then I heard Jennifer say that there was something special in here for Chef
Oh
Cholo.
yeah, yes, macarons.
Macarons. Now, I used to go, I used to think macaroons were like, okay, yeah.
The coconut.
Yeah, coconut. That was the first mistake most people make. But then they were like, no, French macaroon. But then you'd see them, and they were like all different colors, but they always tasted the same. But like I said, and I see it right on top,
There
this
you
is
go.
the buttered popcorn.
Buttered popcorn, salted caramel.
Oh, my God. This is what really changed it for me.
Melts
What
in
is
your
this,
mouth.
Twix? What is this, cereal? Lucky Charms?
That's the Lucky Charms with marshmallow buttercream on the inside.
Ridiculous. Eddie, you're not allowed to have any of these. I'm going to keep them all for me. He's a Malamar guy. He eats them by the whole box. So,
Can't do that anymore.
what happened with you guys when pandemic struck? Like, what was with your bakery? What did you do? Because,
Panicked like everybody else.
but to go, serving things to go was what you did.
Oh,
So that
Well-
wasn't so hard to like be able to do that. I mean, I'm sure you
No.
weren't delivering things, or were you?
Oh, we were. We were.
Really?
See, we pivoted, and what's great is with my business, I feel like I'm the artistic creative entity, but like everyone like us needs to have that person who runs the business.
Right.
My wife. Oh yeah.
I can
Yeah.
tell, brother.
She's
I
got to
can-
run the
It's
business.
very
so
nice
I
of
can
you
be
to make
artsy.
sure you say that here in front of everybody, in
Hey,
front
listen,
of
I'll be
God
s-
and everybody.
I'll be sleeping in the doghouse if I don't. You know, she's sitting in the corner here. She knows exactly what's going on.
She's loving it right now,
But-
Jennifer.
But she really is. You know, I couldn't have done any of this without her, and it allows me to be
Anything.
creative. No.
Not buttered popcorn, macaroons.
Oh,
not
she's the one
peanut
going.
butter
I
and
need
jelly
this. I need this
macaroons,
week.
None of it.
Oh, the worst is though
None of
now
it.
she collaborates with my staff, and all of a sudden I'm getting pictures on my Instagram. Oh yeah, we need to make this, and then two of my staff are like, "Yeah, we really need to have this." I'm like, "Oh, she
So,
started
do you
it
have
again."
something that you're working on? It's going to be like, what about these multicolored croissants? What's with all of that?
Well,
How do
well,
they do that? What is?
So it's a laminated dough. We don't really do a lot of that
What do
by
you mean
me.
laminated dough?
So it's dough, and what you're doing is you're folding butter in, and you're folding layers and layers and layers.
How are the colors going in there?
You're making different flavored doughs. So say you're making now like old
So
school
you
chocolate
were
croissant.
folding, but now you're folding different colors.
So now you roll out your dough. Now you got another dough that goes on top of it. Now you roll out
red
that
or
dough.
green.
And now what they're doing is they're scoring it a couple of different ways, and they're twisting it. So when it bakes and it proofs, now opens up, and you have all these really cool
it looks
lines.
cool, I'll say. Yeah,
We're doing flavored ones by us.
Really?
So yeah, we do an everything bagel.
I love anything, everything bagel.
So
Did
my
I
wife
just say that?
loves it. So what we're doing is we're taking a croissant, we're baking it, then opening up, toasting it,
Cream
and
cheese.
then we do cream cheese frosting. Everything
like
basil
a
seasoning.
sweet cream cheese.
Everything bagel seasoning, and then we put the top on, and then even more cream cheese, and then everything bagel seasoning.
Wow, you do like egg sandwiches out of there too? No, you don't do that.
No
right?
no savory food, but you know we've been throwing around the idea of savory food, some coffee. We just don't know what's gonna.
And you got a
It's gonna work.
really big gluten-free program going out of there.
Yes.
It's a big demand now, right?
Huge.
Big
been doing it
demand.
for 15 years.
You know, I ran a little diner, and we started. I started messing around with
Oh, I
things like
remember.
xanthan. I was calling you all the time,
Oh
right?
yeah.
What do I do with the xanthan? I was like using it like liberally. It wasn't smart at first.
No, you gotta let
what?
that stuff plump.
And you can't ever get it off your fingers.
No, it's like glue.
I'll
it's
say
like
what
the-
it's
that's
like
the
in the shower, but I'm not going to say it here live.
No.
See?
See, we use
See?
it's a gum. Okay, so anytime it touches
So is
water,
it from a tree? It's from a tree, right?
I think it's from bark, some
Bark,
kind of
right.
bark. We use like in the bakery, I use a couple of these molecular gastronomy,
Right.
but more so than in bakery. Like I use what CMC or Tylos. Like when we want to stiffen the fondant to make things, we add this CMC or Tylos gum,
Okay.
and it's the same kind of thing. You need to be able to let it rest so that it's able to work. I learned that with our gluten-free cakes, that because it has xanthan gum in it, if it doesn't sit overnight in the fridge,
Okay.
I end up with a pancake. It sits overnight, I end up with a beautiful cake.
Now, when you say the raw batter sits overnight before you
Raw
cook
batter,
it needs to like do something like
It,
come
it
alive.
actually, xanthan gum is a hydroscopic ingredient, so which means it's got to
It
soak up water.
absorbs, right?
Okay, and I know this. Remember our buddy Robert?
Of course.
Okay, Robert Ellinger. He is.
Oh, he talked me through it too many times.
Mr. Wizard.
Many
He
times.
is the guy. Anytime you want to know anything scientific about what we do,
Smart
he's
guy.
the guy you speak to.
Smart guy, Robert. Give my props to my brother.
Yeah.
He used to bring me cheese Danish when I was a young man at the Royce Cullen Hotel.
Old school.
Yeah, he did. Real cheese Danish. He used to scream at me. He was awesome. So last week I'm at New York Restaurant Show. I'm rolling around with my boy Ed Daniels, and he introduces me to a guy from Lloyd's Pans. You ever hear of Lloyd's Pans?
I have. They're just starting to get into the bakery market.
That's what he told me. He said he was an international company that makes metal pans, and I guess their focus was like more on like cooking, roasting, and stuff like that. And they were like, they said to Eddie, we got to get into the bakeries. I said, well, I'm going to have one of the biggest bakery guys on the podcast, next week on Monday, and we'll bring it up and we'll talk about Lloyd's Pans. We'll chop it up. So, you check them out. You never know, right, brother?
I definitely will. Listen, I could always try new things.
Yeah, it's good stuff. You got time for television? You watch any television?
It's funny. My wife and I, when we get home from the bakery, we're just shot.
You guys don't watch TV, Jennifer?
A little bit here and there. Oh, yeah.
What about the menu? You see the menu?
I haven't seen
What?
it yet. I have not seen it yet because I know I got to sit there and actually devote time.
It's like an hour and a half, but it's insane. I mean,
Ralph Fiennes is crazy.
He's awesome. I mean, you're not just you're a trained chef, so you're
I'll appreciate it.
You would appreciate the idea behind the whole thing. What about the Bear? The Bear on
Bear
Hulu?
I was watching. I haven't finished the whole series because unfortunately, we come home.
I know.
And as soon as you sit on the couch, that's it. You're
I
done.
need TV. It's part of my thing, man. I need an hour of it at least.
Well, we switched. We went from like a cable service to streaming, and so it's like we're still trying to figure it out.
You got to get used to it.
Yeah.
I got to do that because I still got the big cable bill and the big streaming bill.
Oh no! We got rid of the big cable bill.
I got to figure that out. Nobody knows how to use a regular TV anymore. They don't have to.
Smart TV, man.
Yeah, no, it's all about smart TVs. Well, brother, I really appreciate you coming in and chopping it up with us today.
My pleasure, bro.
You're freaking awesome, and like I said, anybody needs to be out there, and you're in the area in Plainview. You want something special. You got a special occasion. You want a cake that's going to look like something else. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily look like a cake because I see you do that.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Tony from Tony F. I don't want to butcher his last name.
Falgiano.
Yeah, Tony Falgiano.
Yeah. His son's wedding was
DeLorean cake,
yes.
right?
Yep.
Thing was awesome. So he always talks about that too. He's a great guy, Tony.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about you got to come around the ACF more often.
Yeah, I've been asked. Rosia keeps asking me to come demo at the one. I'm like, by the time I can get out to Port Jeff on a Tuesday is crazy.
You know what? We're gonna have to do something because I'm back in the club and we're trying to bring birth, but we need some OGs, some guys that can really teach young people. And that's what makes it exciting. That's what makes the group better. And you remember the old days? We had a lot of guys, and a lot of big guys to look up to.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna get that going again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. And like I said earlier, we are always powered by Hospitality News Magazine and Hospitality News Magazine Online. I'm Chef Cholo, and you already know. That's it.